Hello again. Last time we were looking at this activity 6.3 spreadsheet practice, and we worked on equations where we were referencing other cells so that if we made one change over here, it updated everywhere. Now, that skill is important, and especially when we get to our next skill, which is graphing. The reason why that skill is important is because, for example, if we were able to graph this data and we made a change to one of these cells and it changed a calculation, it would also update on the graph. So if you realize, oh, I mistyped one of my data points on my graph, you can fix it and everything updates, even if there is a calculation that it is based on. So right now I'm going to walk you through graphing. Many of you already know how to graph, but here it is anyways, just in case. So in physics, we are always going to use a scatter plot. So first thing I'm going to do is highlight my data right here. I'm then going to go to Insert, Chart, and instead of a line chart, which is the auto one that it does, we are going to scroll down and we are going to use scatter. And so you should see individual points like this. Now we use a scatter plot so that we can fit a line of best fit to it and figure out what our pattern is. So that's the first part. Notice that I highlighted the titles up here so that it auto included those titles right there. I'm going to go ahead and change my title up here. So I click on it and I can change it to position versus time for, I don't know, a rolling marble or something along those lines. So I can change the title that way. Now, when you are changing the title, it automatically puts you in the customize mode. But if you hadn't done that already, you could click on customize and then go to chart and axis titles, and you could change the chart title. You could also click here and change the horizontal axis title, so the time, or you could change the vertical axis title. Next thing we might want to update is under series. So we'll go to series, and under series, we're going to want to insert a trend line. So if you click trend line, it'll go linear, is what this one looks like. So that goes through all of our data points. And last but not least, to label stuff, we go ahead and hit label and we say use equation. And so now it tells us what that equation is for our graph up here. Next, if I'm graphing again, I'm going to highlight insert chart, and you should be practicing this on your own. And this one, so it's the side length versus volume for a cube. So I'll say side length versus volume of a cube. It already has my labels on the side because I highlighted that data. I'm already on customize. I'm going to go to series and I'm going to fit a trend line. And in this case, it doesn't look like linear fits, so I need to find a different trend line. Hopefully at this point you've studied some of the patterns. If we use power series, we can see that that ends up working well, but we need to see what type of pattern it is because there are many patterns that fit into power series. So I say label, use equation, and in this case we can see it's to the third power. So that makes sense because we're cubing stuff. So that's how we graph, simple as that. When you are done with all of the graphing and other things, you can work on the challenges. Challenge number 2 works on fixed cell referencing so that instead of it always changing what cell it references, it only references this cell, for example. You want to read the article and it will walk you through it. Challenge number 3 works on averaging. Again, read the article and it will walk you through what to do. And then if all of that is super easy for you, you can try one of these super challenges. So you just do a quick Google search on how to do summing or min or max or if, or really the harder ones are like VLOOKUP and pivot tables. While these are much harder to do, they are super, super helpful and useful. So I'd highly recommend spending some time learning them at some point in your high school or maybe college career. That's it for us on this video. It was a little bit short because we've already done some videos on graphing before.